us, right? So, just before I get started, as usual, I gotta change my privacy so that y'all can comment if you're watching on Facebook. But you should be able to see this lovely little hang from Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube, all under my name. So, welcome once again to Songwriter Sunday with me, but more importantly, with Drew DeFore and Ken Curran. The other way. I pointed the wrong way. That's all right. So, I've known Drew, and I don't know, am I allowed to use her real name, or do I need to only do stage name? Ken Curran. For quite a while, through our kind of inner dueling piano circle, but I've also gotten to know their songs, because I remember the last time I think I saw Drew and Ken was at a show where my husband and his best friend and another great dueler, Estrel Norman, all played together. So their songs are wonderful. They're lovely people. So delighted to have them today. They'll be on right at 2:15 Central, 3:15 Eastern. So in the meantime, if you're unfamiliar with how I do things here, I play a couple songs, I bring on my guests, and then we just talk about songwriting and we hear some original music, and it's kind of my favorite way to spend my Sunday afternoon. So thank you for joining us if you're new. Thanks for coming back if you have watched before. So to kick things off, I'm going to play a song I wrote, let's see, I think January or February, maybe February. It was right between when I got back from Thailand for my honeymoon and then before the pandemic kind of officially shut down everything. So this is a tune. It's one I thought about writing for another person. It's called All Life Long. And if Pink, if you're out there, please sing my songs. All right. Anyway, here's All Life Long for y'all. Bright lights caught beneath the spotlight all night, trying to get the vibe right. I'm tracking side glances when you think I'm distracted. I got violent butterflies, but I don't know the impact yet. I don't know. You gotta reclaim your time if you don't know what's happening. But I can tell by your twitch and your lean that you're thinking about action. I could be two people if you need a bit more. We could do this dance till we die, but I wish you were sure. Oh, I wish you were sure. We're getting too old for this now. So if you wanna get close, you're gonna have to put your drink down. 'Cause it's gonna take both hands to handle the truth. I've been waiting all life long just to do this with you, to be here with you. Touch hands, take me through the back door. Move fast so we don't reconsider. Time's frozen now, but soon it will fly. So don't waste another moment waiting it out to decide. 'Cause we're getting too old for this now. So if you want to get close, you're gonna have to put your drink down. 'Cause it's gonna take both hands to handle the truth. I've been waiting all life long just to do this with you. Make up your mind, you know what it is. Don't let it slide, you'll be regretting it. 'Cause I know that you know that I know what you want. 'Cause we're getting too old for this now. So if you wanna get close, you're gonna have to put your drink down. 'Cause it's gonna take both hands to handle the truth. I've been waiting all life long just to do this with you, to be here with you. All right, that tune's called All Life Long. Like I said, Pink, if you're out there, please pick up my song. All right, lovely. Got some people watching. Probably not for me so much as Drew and Kin. But thank you so much for being here. Hello, Mark. Hello, Nick. Hello, Ellen. Hello, everybody who's watching. Thank you for popping on, y'all. I appreciate you. Thank you, mysterious Periscope watcher. Wow, the chat is blowing up. Wonderful, y'all. So, right at 2:15, we're gonna get Drew and King Curran on here. A little maybe extra Drew because they've got the kiddos running around, but it should be a wonderful time, you know, to see both of them. They're just monster musicians, lovely people, parenting during a pandemic. You know, I don't know. I can't say enough good stuff, and I think most people who know them also can't say enough good stuff. So hang tight for 10 more minutes of me while everybody gets logged on to watch and listen to Drew and Colleen, Curran, and then we'll just talk about songs. Yeah. And as always, if you're a new watcher, I do read the chat across platforms between my song breaks and then also during my guests' songs. So if you have questions for Drew and Kin, if you have questions for me, if you have questions if you want to ask us what our favorite type of tacos are, you can do that. It doesn't just have to be songwriting, but if you're curious about songwriting and original music, you know, keep chatting, keep talking, and we'll do our best to field those questions as we go along. So 2:15 my time, 3:15 their time. We'll get them on the screen here as well. Awesome. All right, this next tune I wasn't going to do it because I play this one an awful lot. But Drew and I had a conversation about the parenting through a pandemic thing yesterday, and I thought maybe this is a good, I don't know, maybe this is a good mental response to that. I wrote this one back in, I think, July, so it's fairly new as well. All right. This is called Anyway. When it all started, people cried out, "What will we do?" and filled the calendars with phone calls, warned the cancellations of their music festivals, and loaded up their guns outside the Capitol. Gotta edit this verse. Now we've all been asleep for nearly a year, and kids don't know what happened to their playmates. The U.S. stomps its boots and binges on fake news while the world waits, and I'm not holding my breath for a better day. Turns out I don't really have much nice to say, 'cause there are miles and miles of space with nowhere to go. That's fine, I don't want to see anyone anyway. Now I spend my time counting my pennies and crossing off the numbers on the wall. The greatest place on earth lets its people die, while sad housewives take their children to the mall. And I'm not holding my breath for a better day. Turns out I don't really have much nice to say, 'cause there are miles and miles of space with nowhere to go. That's fine, I don't want to see anyone anyway. And this is not a joke, this is not a social media post, and though some of you think it is, this is not a TV show. This is me at home alone, trying to understand why some days I want to die and other days I don't. I'm not holding my breath for a better day. Turns out I don't really have much nice to say, 'cause there are miles and miles of tune is called Anyway. It's kind of a bummer of a tune, but it's how I felt at the time, you know. Especially, you know, I started this Songwriter Sunday kind of conversation and music series because and I know a lot of my peers and colleagues are feeling bummed about not, you know, being able to play out so much. And I know most of my peers and colleagues also are amazing songwriters. And oh, thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Claudia. Thank you, Nick. Thank you for the compliments. I love compliments, man. This year has crushed my ego. Like, I did not need to travel to a Buddhist temple. I just needed this year, and my ego is whoop. So thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Carla, as well. So sweet, all of you. All right, well, hold on to your hats for 4 more minutes. We're going to get Drew and Curran on here. They're going to share some songs. They're going to talk songwriting with me. And then, of course, you know, keep the conversation going with one another on whatever platform you're on, or hopefully you can see kind of the group conversation as it comes through. So please talk to each other, talk to me, talk to Drew and Curran when they get on here too, and give feedback, ask questions. This is for us, but it's also for you if you enjoy the artists that I have on. I do this every Sunday at 2 Central. So if you're new, if you're returning, once again, thank you. I know Norm and Charlotte are watching, and Ellen's watching. Thank you so much. So, all right, Billy made it. Billy made it. Good God, thank you. All right, I'm gonna do one more, and then we're gonna get them on here. Okay, y'all. So stay buckled in. So my last tune is not as much of a bummer. This is another one. It's a musician's song about road time. You know. We spent a lot of time on the road. I know Drew and Curran have as well. In the U.S., internationally, cruise ships, it's a bummer sometimes, you know, to be away. But I wrote this when I was I'm not single, but when I was single, I wrote this kind of about somebody I met who kind of helped me through some road time. So this is called Familiar, and then we're getting Drew and Curran on, and the rest is going to be just delightful for y'all. Thank you for being here. All right, Familiar. I think I wrote this in 2016. Do I want a gig in the South, they say? Well, of course, 'cause how else can I earn my bread? My heart was aching in the land of the Delta Blues. Too sad to sleep alone, so I set my eyes on you. How is this so easy? Something about you feels so familiar and calm. Trying to find a meaning, trying to stay closed off, 'cause I'll be gone before long, leaving in the morning. I think I left a piece of my heart back in Memphis, so perplexed 'cause I don't know, what did we start? Let's stay awake all night, open our chests right up. Tell me about the good times, tell me what made it tough. Let's connect from our hips to our necks and otherwise. Make me laugh till I cry, make me catch my breath when you stare in my eyes. How is this so easy? Something about you feels so familiar and calm. Trying to find a meaning, trying to stay closed off, 'cause we'll be gone before long, leaving in the morning. I think I left a piece of my heart back in Memphis, so perplexed 'cause I don't know, what did we start? By car, you drove all the way just to tell me face to face that you wished I stayed. How is this so easy? Something about you feels so familiar and calm, trying to find meaning, trying to stay closed off. We'll be gone before long, even in the morning. I think I left a piece of my heart back in Memphis. Alright, not gonna double that chorus today, because I realized it's past 2:15/3:15. We gotta get Drew and King Curran on here. Well, thank you all so far for watching. I'm Cassandra Kaczor. Let's get my guests up here. Heck yeah. All right, sit tight, y'all, for just a moment, and we'll get them on the phone. And by the phone, I mean your TV. Hello.
Oh,
How's it going over
this is
there?
awesome. It's good. It's good. Good to see you. How's the sound? We got to make sure you're not too loud that you're bleeding into our room.
Check it out. Check it out. No worries. My nice camera just went crazy for a minute too, so this is perfect. All right. Now
This is so cool. This is our first live interview, virtually in all of the year. This is great.
Awesome. I'm so happy to hear it. All right. Sorry, I was flipping cameras around. So yeah, how's your Sunday afternoon going so far?
It's great. Kids are good. The snow was out, so we did a little sledding. Well, she did. But one of us has to have the little one. One of us gets the bigger one, and so.
Exactly. As we touched on yesterday, parenting during all this crazy stuff, man, I can't imagine.
Yeah, it's crazy only because everyone that has kids knows this. You have all these, it's like a la carte. So I can do this, I can do this, I can do this. Like I can take them to this thing, I can take them to this thing. I can take them to even at the mall in Ann Arbor. There's like this really great play area that we used to take Julian to when he was around Thea's age. It's a safe floor. It's a fun environment. You meet other kids. They need to, they can socialize. They can get that interaction, and all of it's gone now. So we have to just kind of hope that, that they're not going to be socially awkward from, just interacting with us.
Well, that's, you know what? If not this, something else. My mom.
Good point.
My mom once over a glass of wine said, "I think we messed you up," and I said, "What?" She said, "We didn't let you watch TV." So that's here I am.
Kind of hilarious, but kind of sad.
Yeah. What are you gonna do? You have no choice. Well, wonderful to see y'all. Would you like to kick off with a tune and maybe talk about it? I know you have a lot of your fans on here watching, which is wonderful. So
they're the best. We're very fortunate. I still can't explain how this whole year has been about meeting all these great new people and playing these shows, getting ourselves through it, hopefully getting them through it. Cool. Well, I heard you singing before we had to kind of make sure we were ready. I heard you singing a song about being on the road and being away, and so we have one of those as well. And it was, it's this song is called Keep a Light, and it's a weird, there's two angles. One is don't essentially live your life with me in mind, because that's impossible, but don't totally forget about me. So, because, you want to be, you're not part of any cliques, you're not part of any, consistent hangouts or groups of people when you're on the road. You just show up after 3 or 4 months, and then you're like, do I still have a place at the table here? Or, so this song's a bit about that. So.
Wonderful.
If I die, don't cry. You knew it was coming. keep a light outside your door tonight. And when I say I know, I don't really know. It's for sure. 'Cause when I'm lost, I'll just lead me back home. That's where I go. So keep a light outside your door tonight, tonight. Keep a light outside your door Don't wait for me again. Still so much to see. Keep a light outside your door tonight, tonight. Keep a light outside your door. Keep a light outside your door. Keep a light outside your Keep a light outside your door tonight.
Oh, wow. I think, did you play that back in Chicago?
Yeah.
Yeah, I
So
remember
many
that
years
too.
ago.
Sorry?
So many years ago.
So many.
That gig was awesome. I got to live my dream of playing drums for an insanely talented singer-songwriter, Mr. S. Joel Norman.
Mm-hmm.
I
Yep.
love doing that.
Yeah.
His songs are so grooving. But yeah, no, that's a song that essentially is like, I don't know, it's the way I kind of feel about the whole world, which is or like the whole existence, which is like there's a bit of hope, there's a bit of cynicism, there's a bit of, there's like a lot of different layers of life. And but I think everyone, it's like Eddie Vedder when he talks about Alive, the song Alive.
Mhm.
And in that song, essentially he's saying, my dad left when I was a kid, and my mother told me he was dead. But no, I find out years later he's still alive. Like it's such a horrible, like sad thing. And he said once that like, but all of his fans are like, I'm still alive. Like they take the hook and they almost throw out the entire story that he wrote, and they're just like, I'm still alive. And he's like, I actually like that's how I sing it now, which is like I'm still alive.
Oh,
So,
wow.
you know,
It connects
like
with the
so he's
lyrics
actually
and the
like
melody,
he's
yeah.
you have your ego and the id, what you want, what the world wants from you or for you, and then somewhere in the middle is like the superego. And I think that's where success as a songwriter often falls, is like how calibrated your thing is with the rest of everybody else's thing, whatever that is, their ideas, their philosophies, their morals. And if you're really lucky, you're completely self-indulgent, and it just happens to line up with the zeitgeist. Like it happens to be exactly what everybody else loves, So, but like that song, I think there's some cynicism in it, but it really is about like, just let's all keep hope, not just for me, but for anything, And that's, I think, what most people take away from it. I don't know.
Definitely. Yeah, and it's a beautiful song. And I definitely, it resonates with me. I'm writing a book right now about kind of being on the road. It's a fiction book, but obviously informed by some of that. And that's a big part of it, is kind of your introduction to the song is, you don't need to worry about me, but when I come home, could you remember that I exist?
Yes, I know. It's such a weird dichotomy. So, because it's like it's actually like a bigger thing. It's actually the same thing we all feel, which is, I love you, so I don't want to cause you any anxiety, but also please love me.
Yes, yeah, it's
and it can be a dangerous addiction, because when we travel and we meet all these people, I'm sure you've experienced this, like all these incredible people all around the world, many of them watching us now, like you meet these amazing people and it's a high, and then you go back to where you live or your home, whatever that is, and all these people are still out doing their things, so you wonder where your place is, and if you can have and feel that high when you get back. And sometimes yes, sometimes no.
It's unfair, like the relationships that you develop like on the road, as I'm sure you know, happen in very extreme situations. Like you're like playing, like in our case, we did like a tour last year in Poland, and we played like 10 shows around Krakow, and we were meeting some fans that are following us around, and we're drinking Polish beer, having pierogi. There was a wonderful woman who watched our son. We like chatted with her after the shows and like became very fond of her. And these relationships, unfortunately, they're all not in the cynical sense, but just in the very basic sense. They're very shallow relationships, because they only are like, bam, like, oh, we did this thing and then it's gone. Whereas you have family and friends that, like, in our case, we spend entire lives with siblings and friends back in our hometowns, and you like, those are rich relationships. I have a friend who doesn't want to have any more friends after his like 5 best friends, and because he looked at me, we're like, we happen to grow up together, so I'm not in that 5, but I'm like everything. We're like a satellite member of every group we know. We're like not in the group. We're just like over here. In like a very positive way, but I'm like that to him. I played his wedding and everything, and his point was, why would I waste time like what I just said, like with these sort of quick, shallow relationships, when I'm like building something over 30 years that you could never like just suddenly magically have with someone in a day. Like no one can ever build 30 years of relationships overnight with these friends I have that are so rich, and we've gone through everything together, and we'll go through everything together. And it's like his tight tribe, and I don't think he regrets it. I think it's like there's no hierarchy. Everyone does their thing,
That's
a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah, and it's interesting too on the flip side. So I won't talk too much longer because I know you have more songs to share. But well, first of all, I want to reply to Mark. We connected at Monaco Bay, right? That was the first time.
I want to say that, but I see you in Chicago so much in my head and my heart. You did the awesome interview for the documentary that's that we were working on for a while, and I know that we did the gig. I've seen you. I know more about you just because John and Tommy like played so many gigs together, and we played with them, and then that was way before you and him, I believe.
Yeah.
So it's like I think I met you separately, or we met you separately. We played at Monaco Bay, or
I think I knew Tommy before I knew John, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah. And but Tommy, this is a funny story, but I won't tell the whole thing. But basically, he wanted nothing to do with me. He was so cool, and I was like, "So you're so awesome," and now we're friends.
He's a cool guy. So don't think about it.
But I wanted to say in regard to the traveling thing too, and the relationship dynamics. It's really interesting because last year was very difficult for us. We bought our home and then we got married and planned all that, and the extra stress that comes with
Mm-hmm.
not even just the planning. And then I'm not the bridezilla in my family. That's all I'll say. And then
Nice.
and then I got the job at Pete's out here in Rosemont, which meant flying back and forth between Chicago and
Mm-hmm.
Texas like a lot. Um, and that was really hard, and so this has been really hard. And over the past 2 years, I've actually lost a lot of long-term friends who,
Yeah.
and then one of my most frequent people that I talk to is a guy I met on a cruise ship who's a reporter in London, and we've had a relationship for 3 years, emailing several times a month and FaceTime. So it's sometimes the people you meet on one-offs too are like lifelong people, and sometimes your lifelong people aren't lifelong people. So
Absolutely.
And it's all okay because it's usually all based on what you need to do to survive. And if you are in a routine and you rely on your neighbors, then that's your go-to. You're not gonna have this emotional emergency and suddenly rely on someone that you don't really know that well. And having said all this, we have very, very rich and deep relationships with people in Ann Arbor and even in the state of Michigan in our family and siblings. And we just, we're just, it's funny because, and now I think about it, some of them are two of our best friends in Ann Arbor we met on a cruise ship. So, we had that one-off thing, but then they were down the street.
They're both.
oh, wonderful! How awesome is that?
They're awesome. Yeah. But, no, it's just weird the way that your life changes, and people that you might I thought about it the other day, and you just go through these phases. School's obvious because you have you're in this school, these are your friends, your sports teams, whatever, your music clubs, your symphonies. And then you go to high school and it's okay, maybe it's a different high school. In my case it was, and it's a whole different group. Then you go to university maybe, and it's another group. And I transferred after my first year, so then it was another group, and luckily I met her that one year that I was at Eastern. So it's just and then you keep changing, and then you work at, I was working at Monaco Bay for this one entire summer that was just the most amazing summer. So shortly after that I opened up Bobby McKee's with a bunch of guys in DC. I lived there for a year and a half, and then it just keeps going on and on. Anyways, songs. Is this a therapy session or a? Thanks for letting us talk about all these things.
No, thanks for letting me share as well. It's
in case the baby wakes up,
context.
I'm gonna ask Colleen to sing one of her songs. Is that all right with you?
Sure. Okay. What's it called?
She's gonna do a song. Well, you want to tell them about it?
Sure. This song is called Veggies and Fruits, and it was actually a writing exercise. And I don't know how many writers are watching, or it's just kind of fun knowledge anyway. But I wrote out the ABCs vertically, and then I free wrote across. It's a simple exercise, and then I rearranged them, and this has been a song that we've performed for, how old are we? A lot of years. I wrote this back in 2001, and it does something to people, and I have no problem singing it, and so we're gonna sing it for you today.
Wonderful.
Counting on you to be there, gradually slip and leave me at the table. You keep me waiting. Veggies tangle with fruit. Quietly you speak to me. You whisper, I need your love. Time is ours, forever lost in your eyes. I believe our love will last forever. Enduring hope down every day. Apologize for nothing. Whisper. Thinking of yourself. Make you dinner and never let you down. I'm always there. Veggies tangle with fruit. Quietly you speak to me. waiting for your move, waiting for your move. Unique in every way, oversleeps with me. Let's start living today, not tomorrow. Veggies tango with fruit. Quietly you speak to me. You whisper. Veggies tango with fruit. Quietly you speak to me. You whisper.
Gorgeous.
It's one of our favorites. Well,
No, that's man. Okay, I'm trying not to talk too much here, but that's so interesting, especially saying that it comes from a writing exercise and then it does evoke so much emotion. I've been working my way through Pat Patterson's Writing Better Lyrics lately, and the whole thing is just exercises, exercises, exercises.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, I mean, what a
You never know. Going back to the ego, id, superego thing, it's kind of like I used to be very stream of consciousness. Like here's exactly what I want you to think, and here's the exact story I want you to tell. And I still like the songs I wrote in that mindset, and I still write those songs today. But I realized that almost like that's the ego being like, I want you to think and feel exactly the way I want you to feel. But then when things are poetic, when they are more open-ended, mysterious, more open to interpretation, like that beautiful song you just heard, people tend to make their own meaning, and it almost is a gift to them in terms of like letting them like have more authority and agency when they listen to the song, so that you're not just like, this is what you should think and feel. It's more like, here's something, do as you will. So like that's such great poetry that she wrote, and it's like, I don't like that. What a great hook, like Veggies Tango with Fruit. Like it's like, it's just beautiful. It's just like a perfect. I'm sorry, I love that song.
And Colleen too, you have such an incredible way with melody too. I mean, you just every time I've heard you sing, I'm like, this is so effortless. How is this unfair to me? Like,
thank you.
That's another.
The melody actually, it's a very innate thing for me. I have trouble with writing and formulating the songs, which is why I work on the exercises. But the melodies just come to me, and I'll be singing around the house. I've been singing around the house since I've been 3 years old, and so I just come up with these things. So I appreciate you saying that, because that is the part of the songwriting that doesn't give me challenge. It's everything else. The words, the form, the piano, all the rest. So I appreciate you enjoying those melodies.
No, of course
On that line of thinking, the thing I think I admire most about any song, in any part, even if it's just a part, is like there's this magical thing, which is the marriage of a great lyric with a great melody, because they don't all belong together sometimes, or like sometimes they're ironically put together, like like a happy song, like she hates me, like that's ironic. La 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 la, it's just silly, but it's great. I mean, that's a fun song. But the point is, every like melody doesn't belong with like every lyric. Like there's like something magic when it's like, this is the right lyric. These are like the right melody or chords for that emotion they're trying to get across. And when you sing those words, they like just hit you together. Like sometimes songwriters struggle because they've written like this brilliant lyric, and they sometimes will try to force it into like a beautiful melody, and they don't belong together. And it's really tough, because it's like all my fans make fun of me for this, but my first, I won't do the song, maybe. We'll do another song. Well, it's this. Okay, I just did get bashful. I was singing around her. No, I always tell the story like the first. I wrote a melody in my head, and the first lyrics I wrote were, I had just thrown out a pair of shoes that I'd been wearing for 5 years, like around the world, like to Japan. My first tour there. This is like 06 through 09, whatever. And I was touring with them, and I'd worn them before that. But I knew they were like, the lips coming off, and like it was like time to go,
It was time.
So I just I was really sad. I actually thought about them like a person, and they'd been with me through so much. So I wrote this lyric: I love you, old shoes, I do, I do. I love you, old shoes, goodbye. And it was just like this thing, and I was actually like sad about it. And I had that for years. And then like when I went to write my first like real song for my wife, when I was just starting to date, I wrote all these words, and I didn't have a melody, but then I was like, that's the melody for it. So it was like, I love you, Marie, you'll see, you'll see. I love you, Marie, be mine.
Oh.
And that's her middle name, so I was in my way of saying hello. Anyways, I don't want to do this song because I get too bashful, but that's an example of like, that was the right melody and the right sentiment for that song. So it's hard to find like, I think about like other songwriters who have done it so well. So like, if you're traveling in a North Country fair, where the winds hit heavy on the borderlines, remember me to the one who lives there, for she was once a true love of mine. And Dylan ripped that line off Scarborough Fair, which is like an old, English song.
Yep.
But the point is like, it's like he just, conjures up this entire thing very quickly and very beautifully, and the melody is nostalgic and the lyrics are nostalgic. Like, it's like there was a attempt, I think, back in like the Stoics days, like Aristotle, they tried to like come up with like an objective classification of chords according to emotions. It was called like the Treatise of Emotions, and it's obviously way too subjective to become like an objective study, but they tried, and the different scales, like the best example is like the dream scale. Like that was like objectively very dreamy, so like people, and then obviously like that's very like tense, and then the resolution, and because all songwriting is like essentially like, it's just like life. It's just full of danger, scares, all these fear, and then the resolution of good things happening. So like all songs are like, a conflict and a resolution. So like everybody's just trying to go, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you, happy birthday to you.
Yeah, no, and that's across cultures as well. So I studied post-secondary Arabic in high school, and then minored in college until I couldn't keep it up with the double music major. But in the Middle East, those feelings are called maqam. And they're basically modes, but they're kind of like a cultural embracing of what the different scales mean, and there are a ton of them. So I think that people are always seeking that, like, across culture too.
Yeah.
Like kind of that codified emotion.
Yeah, it's like an that's, no one likes to hear this who's an artist, but like an objective sense of like what is going to produce this result. You have one more, Baby's Waking Up. Let's do Never Left because I have more of a story. That doesn't take 20 minutes.
You got it.
Quickly, she's going to perform one more song.
Okay.
I wrote this about all of the relationships you don't get to have. If you ever pick one person, which we happily did, I'll say for myself, happily.
Very happy.
Okay, good. I don't want to presume. So I think that when you pick one person, it's really intense that you're like shutting off billions of others. So this is sort of a song to just like say, all the could be's, that never were. And like the word never love is used as a noun and a verb. So.
Love it.
This face was only the bait for another to take your regard. Hate you exist so that I'll never kiss the most coveted lips I ever known. You said another place, another time, I would be yours, you would be mine. So when was our moment? Mine never loved. Now another face, another side, another grace, another life. Why did we never love? Oh, we go once around, it's all over now. So please tell me how we could be. You said another place, another time, I would be yours, you would be mine. So when was our moment? Mine never loved. How another place, another time, I was yours and you were mine. Where was the place? When was the time? Why did we never love? Where was the place? And when was the time? Why did we never love?
All right. She has to go.
Woohoo!
Beautiful, talented.
I may return with our beautiful one.
Just to say
But
hi.
thank you for doing this with us and enjoy the rest of your time with Drew.
Thanks. All right.
No, thank you so much. Thank you so much for making the time. Ooh, my camera's gone crazy again. So we
That's
can-
all right. You have a cool hold picture, so.
Yeah. So then we get the, yep. On the stream, they're getting the FaceTime camera until your next song where I can refix this.
Want me to just play another one real quick?
Sure, yeah, let's definitely get at least a couple more in for you. I know we've been chatting a lot. It's been very rewarding. But yeah, what have you got for us here?
All right. So here's I'll tell a quick. This song. It's always like, what are you gonna write about? It's always and like, what are you writing about, and who are you singing to, or like, who is the voice of the performer like addressing? So in this next song, the thing that inspired the whole song lyrically was a quote by Friedrich Nietzsche. Some people say Nietzsche, some people say Nietzsche, but it was called. He said, "The love of one is the neglect for all else," and I don't know. It was more of a philosophical idea, but like, it struck me in like this way of people who are obsessed with one thing at the expense of all others, and the other thing that struck me on the song was when I like knew a Catholic kid in Ireland whose parents like would not accept that they were dating a Protestant, and this is like 2007. Like it was just like, what are you talking about? Like this, but it's real to them. It's because their love of the one thing that they've come to accept as their truth is destroying this beautiful, perfect, like, is it not enough that he's like the nicest, hardest working, successful, sweetest guy ever? He also has to be this one thing that you really need to be, you know? So I thought that was kind of sad. But that inspired the rest of this. It's kind of like a letter to the mother of that kid. Like, what? So anyways. Love of one was neglect for all. As we knelt beside your pride, the love of one was the habit you prescribed as a cure for all the questions and the answers change my name, will you say a prayer for me? In the absence of the love you could receive, and you don't mind pain, but you never minded me, and you don't care. Love of one cursed my birthday, lost your wisdom and your manner to the prize. And love of one made you blind, deaf, and eloquent as you prayed under the spotlight at the big show. So if I change my faith, will you send the dogs for me? In the absence of the love you could receive, and you pray for peace, but you're waging war to keep what you don't know. And you don't know, you don't know, you don't know, you don't know. You don't So
gorgeous.
Thanks. Hopefully not too cynical. You know what I mean? Like there's some. I always think about sad songs and intense songs, and I'm like, okay, if it's a sad song or it's an angry song, it's like it doesn't necessarily make the person listening to it feel those emotions. Sometimes they commiserate with you. Mm-hmm. So it's like if you write like a song. I've heard some of your songs. You got some great like. You got some great, and I think that's great because it's because then people will go like, yeah, I feel that way about like a person who's wronged me or something like that, and you do it with that positive, maybe just because you're a positive person, but like you know what I mean, like it's pretty like approachable. So
well, thank you.
I think yeah,
I was
cool, right? Like
I was a big emo kid growing up, and hearing other people say that they were sad and angry helped me. So I think
exactly.
Yeah.
That's so yeah. Anyway, so anybody who commiserates with that song in terms of like, being in a situation where somebody like doesn't give them a pass for being like a good person just because they don't follow like some one thing. Oh my gosh, sorry.
Yeah,
It's been a while since
No, all good. And before we like formally say hi to the kiddos, I just want to say that hit me in the heart because I had a Hindu friend in high school who had a lovely Muslim boyfriend, and her parents were like, no, and that was it. And I watched her. It's sad because it's like they're not prioritizing the right. To me, they're not prioritizing the right thing. Tradition has its uses, but if it destroys good, beautiful, healthy things. Right. Listen, speaking of good, beautiful, healthy things, let's see the kiddos. So Julian's still sleeping, but this is Alethea. Alethea, it depends on if you're Greek or not. The Greeks say Alethea, but the English pronounce it Alethea. We just call her Thea. Okay. And she is almost 1, and she used to be when we started the shows. We had nowhere to put her. So like, I mean, that sounds terrible, but like Colleen held her for like the first month or two
of our live shows this year. She was 2 and 3 months old, and she loved it. It's actually like she would be. We would put her like in her bed, and we would be singing, and she'd just be screaming and crying. And then Colleen would put her in the sack and bring her to the shows, and that was like actually while we were performing her Happy Place. She slept.
Oh.
So it was weird. It felt weird too because it felt like a bit of a gimmick. Because like, I mean, you love to see a baby, but it's like we had no choice. It was like she was out. And then when she finally went to sleep, it was amazing because Colleen's back was probably saved in around April, May when she like, you know, because it was like 2 months. We played every night for the first 2 months of the pandemic just to keep our mind off. Mm-hmm. That's Thea. Can you say dad? 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 No.
Camera shot.
She's beautiful, so sweet. This is like off limits to Julian because he's at the age where if he doesn't even know this exists. He knows it's Dad has office. He doesn't. He's never. But he would just want to come down here all the time and just like destroy everything, and it would be hilarious for him, but not so much for us. But
good to see y'all. Thank you so much, Colin.
I know any of our regular awesome fans watching, they saw her for a while. So that's Thea, everybody. I hope you all got to enjoy that as much as I did. She was totally different here, like than upstairs, like because this is just like blowing our mind.
Definitely, when you get a chance after, go ahead, scroll through the comments. You have so much love from so many people coming through.
They're the best. Oh my gosh.
So I want to squeeze in one more for you because I know we've done a lot of chatting. So before we do that, how can people support you and your music, Colleen's music, you know, your whole family situation? What's the best way? Is it through streaming, watching?
Yeah, that's amazing. So people have already, I mean, to be honest, if it's most of the people that I know that are watching and they're so kind, they've already done so much. And like, I got to tell them, like, if I haven't already, like, they've gotten us through this year. Like, we've made this our job. It's carried us. It's amazing. It's almost too much. I don't like to talk about it too much because it just gets me a little verklempt, for lack of a better word. But we just have we have a virtual tip jar. Streaming doesn't really help because you don't really ever see any royalties from that stuff. I hate to say it, but if you don't, if you like many people right now are not able to tip live musicians, we would totally understand. Another thing that really helps us is sharing anything we do. If you share it, because like we've like since the beginning of this picked up a lot of people following our page, and it's amazing. But like we know that every time we start a show, like it doesn't go out to all of them. Based on many people who have told me, like in the last month even, like, I didn't know you were doing this, and I'm like, you're like a fan on my page, and like I've talked to you even on Facebook, but it just hasn't hit them, or they haven't been on. But I know that like the nights where I've said, hey, can everybody share? I get all these private messages from friends who are like, you're doing that? That's awesome, you know. And it's because like the shares kind of just increase like some automatic thing that says, you know, like, oh, this is important because people are sharing it, so they start to blow it out even more. So it's like a upward spiral. So it's always like a gift to a performer to share their event on your page. And that's just as good as, you know, leaving a tip, because getting the word out about what we're doing and you know, it's really nice to promote our livelihood now. And for who knows how much longer. This is the hard thing to gauge. Right. We are very lucky to be able to do this and to have people supporting us. But the truth is a lot of people went out and went live while they could, and it was like I've heard some bad stories, and a lot of our friends have gotten sick doing it. So yeah, it's like, you know, it's not good. Like in some ways, people may have saved our lives, like by letting us stay home. That sounds melodramatic, but it's not. Like we've been able to stay home because of this. So we're gonna take some time off after New Year's Eve because we've done 200 shows this year, and it's like mind blowing. Yeah. Thanks. You understand that. Like, it's like insane. Because every day that you have a show is not like a day that belongs to you. Like, you wake up and all day you focus on, like, there's something about the show that doesn't let you ever have like peace of mind in a good way. Like, because I was an athlete, you know, like I visualize, I think about some of the stuff I'm going to do, and like, it's kind of like on my mind. And I learned a lot of songs this year for people, and that was cool. But the point is, after this month, we're going to take some time off, reset, and then get back at it, whatever that means. Maybe more of this, and maybe when it gets warm, we'll be playing outside again. But hopefully. Anyway, sorry for talking over. But
that's okay. That's okay. Yeah. Let's go. Let's try and get to 3:05 because I want you to be able to do one more. You have a bunch of people who love you watching.
You got it.
Do one more, and then I'll sign you off and plug next week. So, Drew DeFore, everybody, what's your gonna?
All right. This is weird, but this just came to me. This is a song off my first record that I don't think I've ever played live since 2007. And I don't remember any of the words. But the reason, it doesn't matter because I remember the sentiment. So having said what I just said, I'm going to try to get it out there. This one's for all of my saints. You know who you are. For your clothes, your homes, your meals, your pull-out couches, your gospel parable, my friend. And I may be, as I stumble through this thing, I think of all the ways that I want to say what you mean to me. And I may be just one man, but let me attest to the love I've been given on this harmonious mess. And I spend my life just trying to give it all back. But all I can say for now, I want to thank you. I want to thank you. But oh, what can I say? I'll sing you this song, a kiss, and I'm back on the road again. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you. But oh, what can I do? I'll sing you this song. Then when I'm gone, I pray that I gave you enough to give it all back. Oh, 'cause I know I can't. But I want to thank you. I want to thank you. Something like that.
Lovely.
Yeah, thanks.
A perfect ending note. And I want to thank you for taking the time, and of course to Colleen as well, to hang out for a minute and chat. Definitely go back through the comments. There's so much love there. If you need a little, again, ego bump.
Always nice.
Yeah. Well, thank you
Thanks,
so much.
Cassandra.
Lovely
Great
to
to
see
see
you
you.
and hear you. Stay well, stay warm, and Happy New Year to y'all, okay?
You got it. I really appreciate having us, and we'll see you soon.
Of course.
I hope to see you soon.
We, hopefully. Bye. All right, y'all. Ooh. So for those of you who are still hanging on here, thank you again to Drew and Colleen, Curran, of course. Next Sunday, I am back for Songwriter Sunday at 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. And then we're going to have Paul Brazil. He is a singer-songwriter out of California. Great guitar player, writes some cool political stuff if that's your vibe. Thank you, Claudia. Yeah. Just, if you look up my name, my Venmo's below, as Drew's is as well. If you can subscribe to me on YouTube or Twitch or anything like that, or Sessions Live, look me up. I'm there under CK Jams. Thank you for the support. And of course, anything incentivizes me to continue creating this great content. Not great because of me, great because of the people who come on. But thank you for saying so. So yeah, Paul Brazil is here next Sunday, 2 p.m. Central, 3 p.m. Eastern. I'm going to keep the good songwriting content coming from people all over the U.S. and hopefully internationally at some point. I have a full January lineup coming up, probably midweek, you can see it. So I will be here every Sunday at this time. If you're enjoying this, like I said, Venmo my artists or PayPal my artists, PayPal me if you are able to. or just tune in and say hi and chat and socialize with one another, because this has been an incredibly difficult year. And I hope that this is something, if you're enjoying it, that, oh, Pacific. Okay, I'm sorry, noon Pacific. We have a lot of family members in California, so I apologize, Pacific folks. So thank you. We'll see you next week this time on whatever platform you love. And like I said, thank you for your support. Thank you for your community. And we'll continue to be, I'll be here with a cool songwriter every Sunday afternoon until, I don't know, I run out of songwriters, but that seems impossible. So this evening, my husband John and I will be doing an art salon with some other wonderful artists all over the US. So if you liked this and you need some more art, hop on. It'll be going on from, I think, 4 till 7 my time, 2 to 5 your time, Susan, and then 5 to 8 Eastern as well. So thank you again. Thank you to Drew and Colleen. And stay well, stay safe, stay warm. And then, yep, just connect over the social medias if you'd like this, and I'll keep posting updates. All right, so much love, so much respect, and we'll see you next Sunday, if not sooner. Bye, y'all.